they call I Drive. Sorry, guys, that was super lame. But today's a special occasion because we are talking about the brand new massive hit directed by Edgar Wright, Baby Driver. Edgar Wright is arguably one of the biggest directors working today. He did the phenomenal Cornetto trilogy, Hot Fuzz and The World's End, and Shaun of the Dead, three movies that are really funny, as well as Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, which I'm a little bit mixed on. I know a lot of people love that film. I guess it's not really for me. But now he's back with Baby Driver, a brand new film with Ansel Elgort from Fault in Our Stars, as well as Jamie Foxx and Kevin Spacey. And this is about a driver named Baby who basically drives around for criminals. He has a ringing in his ear called tinnitus, and he puts in headphones to block out the sound, and he listens to music and drives around to that. And when he falls in love with a girl named Deborah, he ends up wanting to get out of that lifestyle, but it's not as easy as it seems because he's tangled up with criminals, and it gets kind of crazy. So, anyways, what did I think of Baby Driver? Okay, um, I'm gonna be honest here, guys. I don't love this movie, and I know, despite the fact that I got all like hyped for this and wore sunglasses and stuff, I don't love this movie. But that being said, Edgar Wright proves once again he's a phenomenal director, and he really knows how to direct a scene. Every scene is basically timed to music, and it's timed perfectly. The choreography is fantastic, and it's almost like a giant long running music video the entire time. And the fact that Edgar Wright was able to do this is pretty incredible. There's so many great songs in here, even though it doesn't always flow. Some don't really suit the scene that much, but for the most part, the music choices were really great. They don't go for the obvious choices, which I really like. They pick some deep cuts from big artists like Queen, but they, instead of going with like "We Will Rock You" or "We Are the Champions," they go with "Brighton Rock," which is a little bit of a deep cut. Then you have Deborah from Beck and Simon and Garfunkel, Baby Driver. So he doesn't go for the obvious picks, and he comes up with a really cool soundtrack here that I'm really enjoying listening to. And also, I just think that the scenes are incredible themselves. Ansel Elgort does a really great job as Baby, even though it's not an entirely challenging role. Acting wise, there's a lot of physicality to it where he has to really nail these action sequences, and he does. It's just really cool. The action sequences are seamless. Everything about this film technically is pretty fantastic. Edgar Wright, he just really has a fantastic eye for detail. There's so much detail in this film, and it really is a visual wonder in that aspect. But my big problem with it is that narratively, I really don't think it's that great. I think the narrative is pretty weak, especially compared to some of his other films, the Cornetto trilogy. Edgar Wright proved that he can come up with a really great story and put some depth into his comedies, and he didn't really do that here. There are attempts at depth. I don't really think the depth works. It doesn't really hit home. That's because the characters aren't developed at all. Baby's really the only one that is developed, but even then, there are some character choices he makes in the third act that really don't feel right to his character, and that happens with a lot of different characters here. Deborah is one character that should really be developed, but their relationship feels extremely rushed, and you can't really get into it, and it's not believable at all. Kevin Spacey's character makes some weird decisions in the third act as well, and Kevin Spacey does play his very typical role that you've seen in movies like 21, but he's definitely good at it. Um, there's Jamie Foxx, who is actually really good in here, but he does play a typical role as well. Unfortunately, another one of my flaws with the film is that the third act is a bit of a mess, in my opinion. It goes off the rails a bit, and I don't want to spoil anything, but it takes some weird turns that really don't feel right. That the movie up to that point is kind of grounded, and then it just goes a little bit too crazy. It feels like, he just lost control of his own movie, unfortunately. But other than that, I think Baby Driver is a really fun film. It's it's a film that you should definitely check out. I don't think it's perfect. I do think it has narrative issues, but on a technical level, it's definitely a film you should go see in theaters. I'm giving Baby Driver a light 7. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe and let me know what you thought in the comments. Thanks, guys. Now I have to go back and drive.